clothes.
And they need to help me with my clothes.
And they're perfectly willing to do it.
And they're perfectly willing to do it.
So we can have good, good, good instead of all that dirty, dirty, dirty staying inside.
So we can have all that good, 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 that dirty, 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 dirty staying inside.
And so I like when they help me with my clothes.
So I like when they help me with my clothes.
I don't resist it anymore.
I don't resist it anymore.
No longer resisting the clothes thing.
No longer resisting the clothes thing. No longer resisting the clothes thing. No longer resisting the clothes thing. No longer resisting the clothes thing. No longer resisting the clothes thing. No longer resisting the clothes thing. No longer resisting the clothes thing. No longer resisting the clothes thing. Now, will that go into the people that we have to hire to come in that help her as well?
Oh, yeah. So I hadn't thought about that. Sure. Okay. Yeah. Okay. And so even though I recognize and truly appreciate that I need the help.
And truly appreciate I need the help.
By the way, does she appreciate she needs the help?
Yes, I think she does.
Okay.
I think she does.
Could she do this on her own?
Right now, maybe wash her face and her hands. Probably not so much the other stuff because she's not very good on her feet.
Does she need diapers?
We put them on just in case. She doesn't. She's usually pretty good. We can get her to the bathroom if we ask her, and sometimes she'll tell us, but sometimes we have accidents.
Okay. All right. But she does, you believe, appreciate the help?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Even though I'm older.
Even though I'm older.
And I'm so glad God sent me my daughters.
That God sent me my daughters.
And what's the help's name?
It depends. They send us somebody different.
Oh, okay. So
all the time.
There's no somebody that she has familiarity with.
There is one lady that we hired to come in, and then the other ladies are through our government home care, and they're just different ladies all the time.
Okay, what's the lady that you hired?
Sylvia.
Sylvia. Okay. Even though I so appreciate my daughters and Sylvia.
Even though I so appreciate my daughters and Sylvia.
And the other people who help me in the bathroom.
And the other people that help me in the bathroom.
It is so nice of them to do this.
It is so nice of them to do this.
God sent them.
God sent them.
And they are so patient with me.
And they are so patient with me.
And I recognize the love in this room.
And I recognize the love in this room.
In this bathroom.
In this bathroom.
There's a lot of love here.
There's a lot of love here.
Would she buy that?
Yes, she would.
Okay. There's nothing but love here.
There's nothing but love here.
People are trying to help me.
People are trying to help me.
Where would I be if they didn't?
Where would I be if they didn't?
I love that people help me.
I love the people that help me.
Dawn helps me.
Dawn helps me.
Victoria helps me.
Victoria helps me.
Sylvia helps me.
Sylvia helps me.
And all the other people.
And all the other people.
That help me in the bathroom.
That help me in the bathroom.
It's a place of love.
It's a place of love.
It's a place of love.
A place of love.
Keep going.
A place of love. 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 Do we need to throw my father in there too, or will he be included with all the other people?
Well, I was going to get to him.
Okay.
I was only. Wait a minute. Your father or her father?
My father. Her husband.
Oh, okay. I was thinking, does he help her in the bathroom?
Yes.
Oh, okay. We'll do that as well. Okay. I'm sorry.
No, that's okay.
And what's his first name?
Bill.
Bill. Okay. Even though I'm so glad everybody's helping me in the bathroom.
Even though I'm so glad everyone's helping me in the bathroom.
Including my loving husband, Bill.
Including my loving husband, Bill.
I love it when he helps me.
I love it when he helps me.
I love when I wake up in the morning and see him.
I love it when I wake up in the morning and I see him.
In bed with me.
In bed with me.
Sometimes I don't recognize him,
Sometimes I don't recognize
but I
him,
can recognize his lovingness, even though I don't recognize his face.
even though I can't recognize him, I can recognize his lovingness.
Okay. All right. This is well. I deeply and completely accept myself.
I deeply and completely accept myself.
I know God is in my life.
I know God is in my life.
And even when I don't recognize things,
Even when I don't recognize things
and may feel insecure,
and may feel insecure,
even around Bill,
even around Bill,
I know God is there.
I know God is there.
Because he's there in everyone.
He's there in everyone.
He's even assisting Victoria and Gary right now.
He's even assisting Victoria and Gary right now.
In my behalf.
On my behalf.
Thank you, Bill.
Thank you, Bill.
Keep going.
Thank you, Bill. 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 Thank you, Bill.
Okay. When you said father earlier, somehow or other in my mind I was thinking of her father,
yes.
who we are speculating was
yes.
was out of bounds. Okay.
Yes.
Okay. We'll see what that does. Okay. We don't know. However, let's go on for a moment because we need to get down to father sexual abuse and things like that.
Okay.
Now, remind me, your first speculation here, Victoria,
yes,
was that the sexual abuse occurred in the bathroom.
Yes.
Do you have any reason for that? Was that the only time, or was it ongoing times, or what is your suspicion?
Well, my suspicion is that it was in the bathroom just because she has so much anger and rage in the bathroom. She doesn't seem to have anywhere else, like any other part of the house or anything like that. There's never the rage, the anger, she just tenses up like, she's like a wildcat in the bathroom.
Okay. Right. Well, let's just go with that. Okay. We'll have to. I may throw in some more generalized type words because it would be my guess, just from my experience, that when we've had sexual abuse, father to daughter, that it isn't just once.
Yes.
But there are times when it's once, I guess. Other times when it's. I know of cases where it's gone on for years. From very early on, age 4 to 24. Kind of thing.
Right.
So, all right. Now, this is an area where eventually we're probably going to get down to some really pointed things. We're going to get really specific, even though these things may not have happened, because we want to try to clear out as much of the specificity as we can. Okay, we may be going way over the top in it. Better to that than to try to tiptoe around the surface. Okay.
Right.
So again, I'm going to be a little bit general, but okay. Even though I'm in the bathroom.
Even though I'm in the bathroom.
And I am surprised.
And I am surprised.
My father comes in.
My father comes in.
And he has motivations I'm not used to.
And he has motivations I'm not used to.
I'm only 12 or 13.
I'm only 12 or 13.
I'm just beginning to blossom physically.
I'm just beginning to blossom physically.
Do you happen to know, I'm presuming breasts are starting to form in puberty and this kind of stuff?
Yes.
Okay. I'm becoming a woman.
I'm becoming a woman.
And it appears I am sexually attractive to my father.
And it appears that I am sexually attractive to my father.
I can now feel him touching me.
I can now feel him touching me.
And it disgusts me.
And it disgusts me.
He's touching my breasts.
He's touching my breasts.
And my genitalia.
And my genitalia.
And it disgusts me.
And it disgusts me.
This disgust.
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 Keep going.
This disgust. This disgust.
And even though I'm so disgusted,
even though I'm so disgusted,
and I don't know what to make of this,
and I don't know what to make of this,
I am surprised by it.
I am surprised by it.
Fathers aren't supposed to do this.
Fathers aren't supposed to do this.
I feel second rate.
I feel second rate.
I'm angry.
I am angry.
Second rate and angry.
Second rate and angry.
Second rate and angry.
Second rate and angry.
Keep going.
Second rate and angry. 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 Second rate and angry.
Okay. Even though I am so angry at this moment,
even though I am so angry at this moment,
I can physically right now feel his fingers and hands on my breasts.
I can physically right now feel his fingers and hands on my breasts.
And I feel so violated.
And I feel so violated.
Feeling his fingers and hands on my breasts.
Feeling his fingers and hands on my breasts. Feeling his fingers and hands on my breasts. Feeling his fingers and hands on my breasts. Feeling his fingers and hands on my breasts. Feeling his fingers and hands on my breasts. Feeling his fingers and hands on my breasts. Feeling his fingers and hands on my breasts. Feeling his fingers and hands on my breasts.
And even though I'm so young,
and even though I am so young,
I'm old enough to know what sex is.
I'm old enough to know what sex is.
But this is not what I had in mind.
This is not what I had in mind.
And I have to look at my father.
And I have to look at my father.
Through understanding eyes.
Through understanding eyes.
I'm not about to excuse this behavior.
I'm not about to excuse this behavior.
But somehow he needs to do it.
But somehow he needs to do it.
As inappropriate and as disgusting as it may be.
As inappropriate and disgusting as it may be.
He somehow needs to do it.
He somehow needs to do it.
And I'm too young to understand at age 12 or 13.
And I'm too young at age 12 or 13 to understand.
But I can understand at age 72.
But I can understand at age 72.
I have enough experience now to understand at age 72.
I have enough experience to understand at age 72.
He was ill.
He was ill.
In his own way, he was ill.
In his own way, he was ill.
Understanding that he was ill.
Understanding that he was ill.
Keep going.
Understanding that he was ill. 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 Understanding that he was ill.
Okay. What I'm trying to do there, I need your feedback here for a second, is I'm trying to get down, we're going to get even more graphic as time goes on here, but I'm trying to get down to the graphics of it and at the same time bring in a larger picture. Because see, she's going to need to have peace on this. If we just sit there and go anger, 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 the son of a bitch, da 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 da, we may even take care of some of the anger on it, but we want to get to a place where there's just more, bad experience, but so's a car crash.
Exactly.
Okay. And for falling off your bicycle, for that matter, or getting dumped by your boyfriend or whatever. I mean, there's lots of bad experiences in this world. Okay. All right. Actually, just as an aside, what she may well be dealing with is PTSD. Are you familiar with that term?
Yes.
Okay. It's typically associated with our war veterans.
Yes.
But lots of war veterans are just a small slice of this. People that had traumatic experiences end up having all kinds of nightmares and responses later on, etc., intrusive thoughts, da 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 da. Well, you don't know this about your mother, but I will tell you this. I have had a lot of experiences with war veterans. I mean, lots of them where I'm face to face with them.
Mm-hmm.
And we take care of that PTSD like nothing else. I'm not saying we get 100% and it's all perfect, but boy, let me tell you, the nightmares don't seem to be there, and the responses and the peace, and it's a big difference, okay?
Yeah.
I'm hoping we're doing that here.
Yes.
We will see, okay? But with the veterans, to get this job done thoroughly, we don't just say, even though I have some war memories, we get right down to the fact that, you know, their buddy died and there's eyes in their arms and he's trying to put his entrails back in his abdominal, stuff like that, you know.
Yep.
That's where you got to get down to where the bare metal is, okay?
Yes.
So, okay. So even though I had this really bad experience,
and
I can still feel his need, that I don't understand, touching my breasts, and my nipples, and touching them inside my clothing. That's really invasive. I need to understand this. I can't understand it at age 12 or 13. God can understand it. And the 72-year-old me can understand it.
And the 72-year-old me can understand it.
Not necessarily excusing it. But putting it in perspective so I can have peace. Okay. Feeling his hands on my bare breasts. Keep going.
Feeling his hands on my bare breasts.
Okay. And even though I'm so young and I'm in the bathroom. He proceeds to take my clothes off. At least those that weren't already off. And touching my genitalia. That is really disgusting. On the one hand, I am confused. Because it's both disgusting. And we're dealing with pleasure zones. Let me stop here a second. Let me tell you where I'm going. I've dealt with a lot of incest, if you will, in time. And in some cases, many cases actually, the young girl is confused because touching the genitalia, the clitoris, going inside and so on, is where pleasure exists. It is where, you know, anatomical pleasure exists. It is also confused with being a form of love because there's pleasure in it. Father is doing it. I have no idea what's happening here, but this confusion can come about because is my father loving me? Is he? What's going on? And I don't know, but we need to touch all those bases. Okay, so that's where I'm going. Okay. So even though I can feel him touching me now. And I'm so confused about this. Because part of it feels good. Mother Nature made it feel good. On purpose. And I may have made it feel good myself all by myself. At this age. And he's doing this. Is he loving me? Or is he using me? I don't know. But it's very confusing. I'm very confused. Pleasure or using me? Go ahead. Loving me or using me? Okay. Let me ask you, Victoria, on a scale of 0 to 10, where you were a 7, 6, are you getting higher, lower, what?
I'd say it kind of went up again.
Okay. All right. Are we triggering into experiences of your own, or are you still in behalf of? I mean, is some of that coming in, or are you?
It's mainly on behalf of my mom.
Okay. All right. Well, what number would you put it at?
I'd probably say I back up to 7, maybe an 8.
Okay. All right. Okay. So, even though I can feel his fingers on my genitalia.
Even though I can feel his fingers on my genitalia.
What's he doing?
What's he doing?
He seems so aggressive.
He seems so aggressive.
Is this love?
Is this love?
Or the lack of it?
Or the lack of it?
Does he hate me?
Does he hate me?
Or does he love me?
Or does he love me?
I don't know, but I've got something he wants.
I don't know, but I've got something he wants.
And he seems intent on getting it.
And he seems intent on getting it.
I can feel his fingers touching my genitalia.
I can feel his fingers touching my genitalia.
Keep going.
I can feel his fingers touching my genitalia. 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 I can feel his fingers touching my genitalia.
All right, something occurs to me. I know your sister Dawn is off camera sitting over there. Dawn, are you tapping along as well?
In my head.
All right, tap physically.
Okay.
I hadn't say them to yourself.
Okay.
Say the words to yourself. I just hadn't thought about that, but oftentimes if we have more than one person doing this, it can have an effect. So just if you say the words, it's going to kind of get in the way of our audio. So just whisper it to yourself, so to speak.
Okay.
Okay. All right. Okay. It'll get more graphic still. Here I am in the bathroom.
Here I am in the bathroom.
Being fondled by my father.
Being fondled by my father.
And he takes his pants down.
And he takes his pants down.
And for perhaps the first time in my life.
And perhaps for the first time in my life.
I see his genitalia.
I see his genitalia.
And his penis is standing straight up.
And his penis is standing straight up.
And I don't understand that.
And I don't understand that.
I know academically what it is.
I know academically what it is.
But I don't know what's going to happen now.
And I don't know what's going to happen now.
This is over the top.
This is over the top.
Something's amiss here badly.
Something is amiss here badly.
And he wants me to put it in his mouth.
And he wants me to put it in his mouth.
And I don't want to do that.
And I don't want to do that.
Or maybe I do. I'm confused because maybe my father's trying to love me in some way.
Or maybe I do.
I'm confused.
I'm confused.
Maybe he's trying to love me in some fashion.
Maybe he's trying to love me in some
fashion. But
I
don't like this.
But I don't like this.
I'm angry about this.
I'm angry about this.
He seems to know I'm angry.
He seems to know I'm angry.
And right now it doesn't matter.
And right now it doesn't matter.
He's putting that thing in my mouth.
He's putting that thing in my mouth.
I can feel it in my mouth right now.
I can feel it in my mouth right now.
I can feel it in my mouth right now.
I can feel it in my mouth right now.
Rage.
Rage.
Feel it in my mouth right now.
Feeling in my mouth right now.
Rage.
Rage.
Keep going.
Feeling in my mouth right now. Rage. Feeling in my mouth right now. Rage.
And even though I can feel all this rage.
And even though I can feel all this rage.
Somewhere in all of this.
Somewhere in all of this.
I have to recognize my father is not well.
I have to recognize that my father is not well.
I'm too young at this age to really understand that.
I'm really too young at this age to understand.
Maybe I can understand a little bit.
Maybe I can understand a little bit.
But not enough.
But not enough.
This is over the top.
This is over the top.
God can understand this.
God can understand this.
And 72-year-old me can understand this.
And 72-year-old me can understand this.
But we have to send love right now to 12-year-old, 13-year-old Donna. Donna, yeah.
But we have to
send love.
Send love to 12-year-old Donna right now.
Right. God is actually more forgiving than I can be at the moment.
More forgiving than I can be at the moment.
I need to understand this.
I need to understand this.
Really understand this.
Really to understand this.
Okay. Understanding this horrendous event.
Understanding this horrendous event.
All right. Keep going.
Understanding this horrendous event. Understanding this horrendous event. Understanding this horrendous event.
You missed the eyes.
Oh. Understanding this horrendous event. Understanding this horrendous event. Understanding this horrendous event. Understanding this horrendous event. Understanding this horrendous event.
Okay, I tell you what. It's my sense of this that while there's more to go, that I'd like to do some tapping to kind of bring things down and in perspective. Okay, I'd like to do that. There's more. There's the possibility of intercourse and da-da-da-da-da. But for the moment, what I'd like to do is bring this down some. Have you just notice how your mother responds?
Okay.
Let me know. We'll do some more on this.
Yes.
But I'm in a place where I need some feedback at this point, and you can't give it to me. Only she can.
Right. Yeah.
Okay. So let's do some tapping now. Okay. So even though I've just been through a difficult memory, I hope I've had some understanding here. And some peace. It was a long time ago. It's not happening anymore. And hasn't happened for decades. But I haven't had peace on it. And it's my turn. My father was ill. I understand that now. And I need to have love in my heart for him. For my purposes. So that the love helps me. And I wish it would help my father. But it's the love within me that I need to establish now. And leave this experience behind. A bad experience. But I can have peace now because it's no longer here. A bad experience. Peace now. Keep going.
Bad experience. Peace now. Bad experience. Peace now. Bad experience. Peace now.
Hi, Victoria.
Hi, Gary.
We had a little conversation prior to this recording, and you sent me an email and all in the meantime, and I gather as a result of our session last time, which was maybe a week ago?
Yes.
Something like that. Your mother showed substantial improvement on her behavior type issues anyway, am I correct?
Yes.
Like it was like 75% improvement or something.
Yes.
Can you be a little more specific about what happened, where the improvements were?
They were around the bathroom and getting ready for the day. The ladies had commented how much easier, she'd been to get, help washed and dressed and stuff. They were actually able to wash her face, which they haven't been able to do for a few months without a bad reaction.
And if I may interrupt you, she allowed the face to be washed without any kind of reaction or minimal reaction, or do you know?
I think there was no reaction. Just just washed my face, and one lady was actually able to do it twice in one day.
Okay, but just for comparison, instead of what kind of a reaction just getting down to washing the face, instead of screaming and yelling or pushing away, or what might the reaction have been? All of that.
Yes.
And instead, now we had none of that.
Yes.
Okay, and other things like around the toilet and so on went a lot easier, apparently.
Yes.
Okay.
And getting ready for bed was a lot easier. There was still a little bit, she'd still clutch at the pants kind of idea to hang on to them, but then, I'd just say, "Oh, it's okay, Mom. We're just going to get ready for bed." okay. And then she just kind of let it go. And before that, she would like, you know, hang on for dear life or try to grab at me or grab my hair or, you know, anything to get me away.
Okay. And that, you know, that to me, I think is very encouraging results.
Yeah.
Given the fact that we were shooting in the dark because we don't really know what happened. We just had to guess at it, but I guess we guessed well enough, or we were on the target well enough. Maybe not the bullseye, but on the target well enough that it did this. Now, that occurred during this week, except for apparently today. Today, she woke up and apparently she didn't recognize her husband, and she's been a little out of sorts and reverted all the way back to her previous resistance, or not?
Maybe not all the way, but certainly back again. Like not as strong. Like, I mean, sometimes she would get to the point where she'd be hitting people and, you know, that kind of thing. It was just a lot of yelling and get away from me and no and screaming, like, you know, leave me alone.
Okay. And so we talked about this before, and you speculated maybe she had a dream that night. She woke up, you know, didn't recognize her husband and has been out of sorts since, etc. Okay. So, you know, we don't get discouraged by that, because what we do is, it's not like EFT wears off, you know, like a pill might. Okay, it's more like, gee, what happened? What brought this on? What is not done yet with EFT sort of thing. So maybe it was a dream, maybe it was something else, maybe we just need to go through some other things, but we're still in an area where we can't really have verbal exchange with her well enough to pin it down. So we still got to go into that. So also, if I understand this correctly, and her hip pain got better, but her apparently a back pain got worse, and we haven't been able to do much with that.
Right.
Okay. All right. Well, that's more efforts, I think, as we go along. We'll see what happens.